Last week on Kingsport, Aphra took a terrifying revenge on the town. Fortune held a witch's sabbath with Chastity. After Grace Baxter revealed her witching was a hoax, Mercy's family encouraged her to accuse anyone to keep attention away from them. And who was the mysterious man in the graveyard who gave Verity a book to sign? Tonight, after Aphra has finally gone to her rest, handsome Malachi, Verity's foster brother, returns from the sea to find a town in turmoil. Tonight, on Kingsport. All right, welcome back to Kingsport 1692. We had to say goodbye last week to Leandro in an amazing sequence with his character Aphra, but we are so fortunate today to welcome Agatha, who will be playing Malachi the Mortal. So Agatha, why don't we just step right in and talk about Malachi?
Malachi Goodwin is the birth son of the Goodwins, so Verity's stepbrother, or Verity is his adopted brother. He's immortal, so he's very beautiful. Has dark, always kind of mussed hair that falls just in the right way, no matter like what state he's in, and he's constantly wearing this rumpled linen shirt. He right now his lover, so the person that he is on a one-sided obsession with, is Verity, and he has returned from sailing on Moab Pimpleton's ship. Yes, Moab Pimpleton's ship, and he's back to make things right or wrong.
I wish you luck. Why don't we check in next with Fortune?
So Fortune is, the witch in town who always causes trouble, and she has caused herself a lot of trouble lately. Something overcame her last time, and she accidentally hexed the entire town to see some pretty horrific demonic visions of pretty much anyone they've ever wronged, and that set some people off. Combining that with, Aphra like ghosting out in front of everybody, and then the accusation of murder against two of the town's upstanding young men, and then just for good measure, she decided to start. If she can't avoid a witch trial, she'll just start one of her own. So she's started to hurl her own accusations as the best form of protection against being accused herself, and has to deal with that. Also, she's still a little bit hurt over the fact that Verity signed someone else's book when she could have signed my book. I'm just saying. Anyway, we'll see how that works out.
You keep trying to make that a thing. It's not gonna be. Why don't we go next to Chastity?
Yeah, Chastity is the just perfectly innocent. Nothing wrong with her. Just recently, she noticed some fun rituals that she wanted to take part in. She finally got that chance. Now she's pretty interested in that, but lately her father said might be some trials coming up that she needs to kind of keep her head down and not say a lot, because of course there's something different about her, which she doesn't really understand what that means. But if it were up to her, she'd just be signing her name in any book to get these rituals going as much as possible.
Well, everything's gonna come out well on that, I think, so we'll be fine. Let's check in with Mercy.
Okay, so Mercy is a deep one. Her family is from a long line of deep ones, once powerful and prolific, and now they're trying to kind of regain some of that. She is essentially a reskinned serpentine. What is it? Reskinned serpentine. And she is, her family is fairly controlling. She'd like to get away from it, from that life, but for now she's stuck in it. And one of the controlling things her family wants her to do is sort of they're trying to manipulate the whole accusations and witch trials and stuff as they happen, or to keep it away from them. And she's also, I forgot to mention that she's like an honorary witch because she signed the book and helped kill the goat and did all the other rituals necessary. Maybe twice.
Like you do. And finally, let's check in with Verity. Very importantly, not the blood brother of Malachi.
No. Verity Goodwin is a werewolf. She is a person who cares very deeply for the people around her and has gone out of her way to root out trouble and secrets where she finds them. She got Grace Baxter to stop falsely accusing people of witchcraft. She exposed John Baxter and the Pembleton boy for having killed her friend Ephraim Moore, who passed beyond the veil last week. And at this point, and has been trying to keep Fortune, who she's a little puppily obsessed with, from lighting herself on fire, both literally and figuratively. And so now she is hoping to leverage some of the favors that she's gotten from strange men in graveyards to keep the people that she cares about safe from the oncoming storm.
Strange Men in Graveyards has to be the name of the band that comes out of this. So, great. I think the best place maybe to start is I'm pretty sure Malachi would want to head up to the old homestead as soon as he got off the ship. So I think as you approach the little carpenter's cabin, you see a man with no shirt that is a stranger to you outside chopping wood. Right, he pauses and looks up at you and says, "Oh, good morrow, sir. I be hype fear the Lord would."
I was going to request that it's nighttime and storming.
Oh, we can do that too. Fear the Lord would has no problem cutting wood in the rain and without a shirt, because he has one shirt and he doesn't want to get it ruined by the rain. So
yes, forget about the breeches for the shirt. Okay. All right.
Fear the Lord wood cannot be contained by a shirt.
All right, I go up to him. I think I have like a like one of those knapsacks, slung across my shoulder. Who are you? And then there's like lightning in the background.
Huh. I'm a woodcutter in the service of Mr. Goodwin. And who art thou, stranger?
Thou. I am the son. The birth son of this family.
Oh, I had not known that the Goodwins had a son. They speak of him so little. Well.
Oh, I'm gonna stride past him. Go inside.
Yes, absolutely. Verity, where are you when Malachi comes through the door?
I am upstairs, and I hear him enter the house and go running down the stairs because I have forgotten how mad I was. Maybe. And when you walk through the door, you're just sort of hit by your sister,
Okay, I catch you.
who throws her arms around you and is like, "Oh my goodness, you were gone for so long."
Verity, I'm like gonna, like, I hold you as well, and now you're gonna be soaking wet because I'm soaking wet, and I kiss the side of your cheek.
And I
Verity,
lean back and I punch you in the shoulder and I'm like, "You left!"
yes, I did, and I'm gonna pull you in again, and kiss you on the other side of your cheek.
Are our parents here?
I don't know. Are they here?
I don't know.
Probably.
Uh,
Where else are they gonna be at night?
Um,
In the storm.
It
Hey,
just,
Mom.
just
Did you just get in?
Yes, the ship just pulled in, and I'm like not releasing you.
Let me go. We're both soaked. I'll get you some dry clothes.
just let me know when you want to roll plus hot.
Oh, yeah. Can I do that?
Yeah. That's right.
And I think like the way that like Malachi is the way that you sometimes see like in like older movies where you're like, is this like kind of sexual? I can't tell if it's just
can't tell.
that or if it's a
I'm not
greeting.
sure. Yeah. Do it. Roll plus hot.
Okay. Oh, I don't have the. Do we have a rule for your party?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat on the side.
Oh, bless. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I guess parents are probably both there. How many rooms are in this house? I thought we were like servant, or not servant, but I thought we were
We're
like
not
lower
wealthy,
class.
but like, you know, we have a fair, like our father's a carpenter. Like I feel like he can build us a fair
Oh,
house. Probably not
okay.
nice, but it's not small.
Okay.
Probably maybe 2 rooms on the bottom and a sleeping loft, that kind of arrangement.
Wow, we're living like kings.
Yep.
Okay, 2d6. 6, 7, 8. That's an 8.
Great.
Good, good. So do you want to give your brother a string or choose one of these reactions?
Oh my god.
Oh, I also always carry one forward to earning my lover's heart or fancy. What does that mean? Does that mean that, well, it doesn't make a difference right now, but I guess if I had
No.
a 9, that would become a 10?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Great. Mm, I am torn on which thing I should do.
I mean, I'm sure I'm always like this.
I'm sure you're always like this. I am torn on whether or not it is too early for her to just be like, the hell with it and make out with you.
Our parents are still there, right?
I don't know. We didn't really decide. Are they in the room?
Or maybe they're asleep.
Maybe they're asleep. We'll just say they're asleep. We can have our like private moment. Yeah, I think it's too early. She gets really awkward and starts sort of pushing at your hands and says, "You have to put me down eventually."
I like tighten my hands for 1 second, and then I put you down slowly. And then I guess I took off my shirt, and I'm like, "Do you have any extra shirts?"
I do. I'll get you something of father's. She like disappears into the upstairs. How was traveling?
It's the sea.
Probably better than here.
Who is that man?
Ugh. She comes downstairs and she says, "His name is Fear the Lord Wood, and he's been working for father."
Has he been around long?
Few months. I
Yeah.
hate him.
Thou does not seem fond of him.
No. He has the eye of every woman in town, and he knows it. And there's something weird. There's something, he doesn't smell right.
He doesn't. Verity, you've smelled him. No, thou hast smelled him.
You know what I mean. There just
How
seems
close wert thou with him
not
to
that
smell
close.
him?
Not that close. I don't mean smell him, like, I don't mean smell him with my nose. I mean, he feels strange. He feels odd.
Yes, he is chopping wood in the middle of a storm, in the middle of the night.
Right. And he's stranger still. The hold he has on all the women in town is unholy.
Unholy.
And I hand you a bunch of dry clothes. But he doesn't have a hold on me. Neither he nor John Baxter nor any of those other murdering monsters. You've missed a lot.
So it seems. I'm just gonna full out start stripping and then changing.
Great.
My parents, whatever.
It's fine. Oh yeah, do you know I'm a werewolf?
Do you think I know? Wait, when did you find out that you were a werewolf?
I think probably puberty. Makes sense.
Because if I did know, then I wouldn't have asked that question, right?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I found out right after you left. Okay, we're gonna do this thing. So I have something strange to tell you.
What? Art thou engaged?
No. After you left.
You?
After you left.
Since when did we become so... I understand you're still upset with me. Thou art still upset with me. Continue. After I left.
After thou left and I remained here, something came over me. Please promise not to hand me over to the witch seekers first.
What? Art thou hurt?
I'm not hurt. I'm different.
I'm struggling into my breeches at this moment, but continue.
Maybe it's better if I show you. And so there's sort of a shift, and in front of you is a very large red wolf.
Okay, I fall to the ground.
You fall. That seems right. And she immediately turns back into herself, fully naked, and like comes over to you and is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to frighten you."
Mm-hmm. Do you want to roll to turn me on?
Yeah, I mean,
should I roll to keep my cool?
I think I don't know. I think you maybe roll to keep your cool, and I probably roll to turn you on by accident.
Yeah, I'm not.
I like that sequence. Yeah,
great.
I'm afraid of Malachi.
Yeah, I have no chill. Okay, let me.
You have no chill.
This is not normal. 9, and I think I have a -1 or something. I'm cold. Yeah, so that's an 8.
It's still successful.
So, what are you afraid of? Besides being devoured by your sister.
Well, that debatable. Let's see how. I think I was just shocked that the light of my life just turned into a wolf and then turned back and then suddenly is also now naked.
Seems right.
Like, I don't know if there's anything I'm necessarily afraid of at the moment.
Maybe you're afraid that I'm actually a monster.
Yeah,
sure.
I think so.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Like, it's one thing for me to be a creature that's still your sister, that's still like the woman that you love, but it's a different thing for me to be unholy.
Okay. So, here, let's do this. You are aware that if anyone else found out about this, they would undoubtedly hang Verity from the nearest tree as quickly as possible. Therefore, if you do not confess this secret and decide to protect her, you are essentially committing your life in her defense.
That's real.
True.
I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Well,
A lot
maybe.
of confusing feelings right now.
How would I realistically respond? That's Malachi. I think you're like hovering over me, and I'm just like reaching out, like shaking hands, and then like behind you, so that and then I think I just pull you to myself.
Okay. So is that?
I am, and then I'm going. So I'm promising something that I think you want.
Okay. So what do you promise me?
And I bury my head in your shoulder, and I say, "Oh, Verity, you're safe with me."
And she breaks down sobbing. I think.
Okay.
And I drink one of our dad's shirts over you.
Sort of normal. Sort of fine.
Yep. Let's let's find out what Chastity and Fortune are up to. It doesn't have to be that night. We could cut to the morning if you want, or however you want to do it. What are you guys doing? What you doing?
So I'm fine with it being the next morning. Like maybe it's like early and we're just kind of like talking about how far in the future is this from, like, you know, the witchening.
I'm always liking the it's a television week. Strange how everything seems to happen on Wednesdays in this town.
Okay, so yeah, maybe we're in the kitchen and I am preparing breakfast for the family and Chastity like walks in.
Yeah, it works. And what's to be made today?
The same thing I make every day. I thought that this was going to change things and that things would get a little bit more exciting, but here we are. I'm still making breakfast.
I think maybe Chastity just looks around carefully and then, seeing no one there, comes closer and it's like, well, there could be certain excitements maybe if no one were here.
Are you trying to turn me on?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, goddammit, yes!
Oh my gosh, okay. So, yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so how do you try to turn Fortune on?
I think just poorly, probably. I think she might just like I said, get real close and say that as maybe breathy as she can, which probably is the first time she's ever tried that.
Okay. Well, go ahead and roll and see what happens.
Yeah, I think real obvious. Well, yeah, rolled pretty well. An 11 plus, 12. Okay.
Okay, so
Well, you get a string on her for sure, and then you get to choose a reaction there, Fortune.
okay. Let's see here. You know what? I think this is probably more Fortune speed. So yeah, she's gonna just be like, she's gonna actually like take Chastity's face in her hands, and she's gonna go, "Oh, young miss, there is so much I can teach you about how to use these wiles in a much more effective manner. For instance, you can say a lot more with your hands than you ever could with your mouth." And then I run my like fingers up her sleeve and like kind of like tease it under the hem of her dress. And
shall we consult the sex move chart?
yes. Well, we know my sex move, which is that I get a sympathetic token, and so I just own like half of Chastity's stuff lately. So.
How about something actually like kind of obvious, like maybe a shawl of hers or something?
Ooh, something that's slightly too nice for my station.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
And oh, that's right, we get to play the dating game, don't we?
Oh yeah, great. Okay, let me remember. What are my two options again? Let's see. Confusing or soothing? All right, I got it.
Okay, got this.
Bachelorette number 1.
I said soothing.
Oh, also me this time.
Aww.
Second time's the charm.
You both get XP. Good. Nothing bad will happen from this. So, Mercy, at what point do you arrive in that kitchen?
Ooh,
Since we kind of established you guys just walk in on each other every now and then.
yeah. I think maybe I've walked in at the point where Fortune's kind of gone back to cooking, and Chastity just has this like silly grin and flush face.
Yeah, maybe she like in this picture here, she has this I'm sure there's a better term for it, but like that bonnet kind of thing. Maybe she's just like not wearing that for once.
Reading the comments, there's still time. But
she's like, thou art late. She says with like the dumbest smile.
Late? I didn't know you were expecting me. I didn't know that were expecting me.
Thou art always welcome here.
Ah.
So at this point, I walk in with like a tea service because I just sensed that Mercy had entered the building, and I prepared some tea and I set it down and I say, "Lady Pembleton."
Well, thank you.
How are things with your brother?
Well, he seems to be all right. The whole family seems a little concerned over
Him
what's
being
going.
accused of murder?
Well, that, but what's going to happen next? And we're eager for the witch trials to begin. Who's going to be out of character? Who's going to be like sitting on the judging the witch trials?
I'm pretty sure we're going to see a dramatic entrance of some NPC to be named later. I do know that for sure they have arrested the Reverend Moore, and he is being held in the town. Well, they don't have a jail, but they have a jail, I guess. Yeah, not the Stocks. They have him locked away. There is probably a jail of some kind here.
Is he the only one that's been arrested so far?
I think so, yeah, because, Aphra died, and, yeah. So for now, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been things at home have been very cold as of late. I try not to spend so much time there anymore.
Well, as I said, thou art always welcome here. She might say, like, just way more friendly than usual, I think.
You seem very thou seems very bright this morning. Please, tell me what has thou in such a cheery mood this morrow?
Just her lessons. She's been a very good student.
Oh, what have you learned?
All sorts of things.
And
Actually, I'm sure that there are plenty of things that you should be learning as well, sister, as someone who signed my book.
Yes, Mercy. Now that we are sisters, the three, with abstinence too, we can practice rituals at any time we need. I feel I might have a head start on you.
Are you turning me on?
Um, I don't know if I'm going that far. I'll leave it up to you.
If you want to roll for it.
I mean, sure. I guess. Does that seem fair to everybody? That seems.
No, it's totally fine. I'm just walking this in line between love and hate of you all right now. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So that time it was a 6. Way better.
Perfect. So you reaching out maybe to touch Mercy's hair when the door bangs open and a rough-looking guy in a heavy coat with the Puritan kind of stovepipe hat perched back on his head walks in like, "Good morrow, ladies. Mercy, why dawdlest thou here? Hast thou no chores? Wilt thou not regard thine uncle?" For this is indeed
Uncle
Captain
Moab.
Moab. Yes.
And she runs runs up and gives him a big hug. That would be
Yes. Thy affection is warranted, but unseemly, lass.
Uncle Moab. We weren't even expecting you. Have you seen Father yet?
I will call
Have thou
upon
seen
my
Father?
father shortly. I have much news of a family nature.
And we have much news of Kingsport.
I see that the situation has come not as well as we might have thought.
So I kind of step forward and I say, "Sir, shall I call Major Whitbourne to see you?"
I have no desire to see the Major right now. And you are a strange young lass. I don't remember seeing thee here before.
I am but a simple servant girl newly located to Kingsport.
Yeah, when he said, "I don't remember seeing you here before," the emphasis was quite on the here.
Oh, okay. So, oh, do I recognize it?
Salem Town support too.
I'm going to say, I'm sorry. Have we met before?
I don't think we've been introduced. Thou comes from Salem, if I am not mistaken, and I rarely am.
Indeed, I do come from Salem. I was fleeing the atrocities of the witch trials, and yet
atrocities? Thou callest the king's justice atrocity?
To the horrible things that have happened to good, innocent, God-fearing people in the name of darkness, in the name of witches. Of course, they are atrocities to the people of the Lord.
He gives you a glance like he's not quite sure which Lord you mean. Like, things mayhap have gone a bit out of control. Be that as it may. Mercy, what thinkst thou of this new minister, Wilkins? Is a fair man?
He seems to be a fair man. I have no reason to question his motives, Uncle.
Go thou and invite him to dinner at our families tonight.
Very well.
It shall be seemly, I think, that we make alliance with God's agent.
Understood,
Also,
Uncle.
knowst thou where I might find young Malachi Goodwin?
Did Malachi return with you, Uncle?
Aye, he is made third mate of my boat. He is a goodly sailor.
Oh my, that is such good news.
With time, he could make a good seaman. Send thy servant. Send you, servant girl. Go thou to the Goodwins. Tell them that I shall expect to see Malachi at our house tonight.
Is it post haste, sir? Although, may I ask, who is Malachi Goodwin? I am familiar with Verity, but I do not know anyone by that name.
'Tis Verity's brother, mate aboard my ship, the Tethys.
And I nod and say, of course, I will go right away.
He waits for her to leave and then just looks at Chastity and is like, you take thyself of care around that girl. Or hast I come too late to send this message to thee? Take thou care, young miss.
I take plenty care. I tried at all times, and you have just been disturbing our prayers, but I will tell my father that you had been here.
Such prayers as you were to render, I think was best I did interrupt. Mercy, bide thine uncle, come with me.
Yes, Uncle.
So, I think the thing to do would be to cut to Fortune arriving at Shea Goodwin. Where Fear the Lord Wood is, of course, out for his morning pipe and cutting down more of the forest.
Good morning, Wood.
Sorry.
Good morrow on thee, Fortune.
Sorry, I do a second.
I'm really sorry. It took me by surprise.
How goes the young master return to the house?
He seems a shapely young man. How goes thy nightly excursions?
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about, but if I did, they would be going well.
Fortune, woods have ears, and woodsmen who walk in them do too. Good morrow, and he just stalks off.
I cross over to the door and I give it a sharp rap and call out, Verity, Verity, are you there?
Verity answers the door fairly quickly. Fortune, good morning.
Good morning. I have been sent on a very important mission. This is not a personal call, although it could be later on.
Certainly, come in. There's fresh bread if you need to break your fast.
So, of course, I could not break my fast, but maybe just a sniff. And then, of course, I go into the kitchen and I just eye the bread very hungrily, but don't quite take a bite of it.
What didst thou need?
A new Pembleton has appeared by the name of Moab, and he has sent for your brother, whom I have never heard of or laid eyes upon before.
Well, Moab Pembleton is not a new Pembleton, but rather a very old Pembleton.
He is both at once, at least to me.
That is very true. Malachi is dressing. Malachi!
Yes, sister. And I come down, buttoning my shirt from like navel upwards.
Malachi, may I present my dear friend, Fortune? Fortune, this is my brother Malachi.
Tomorrow.
It is a pleasure to meet you. It's always, I just say it's a pleasure to meet you, and I offer you my hand.
And then I look at Verity.
Fortune has been sent to fetch you to the Pembleton house.
Okay. Well, okay. Because you didn't offer me any visual cue, I guess I take the hand, and then I just like bow very, like, just a tiny bit over it. Not kissing someone's hand.
Okay. So Fortune like takes back her hand and says, I was sent explicit instructions to bring you post haste, so I shall so I must ask that you accompany me, and perhaps along the way we can get to know each other a little better.
I glass over at Verity again.
Fortune is a dear friend. Would you like me to accompany also, or is it just my brother that you're after?
I assure you, I am here only for my mission, and would I have the day to while away, I would much rather in your company.
And why yours?
I laugh at that.
Okay.
And I very well. I button my shirt all the way up, and I lean over to kiss you, Verity, on both cheeks. I shall be back soon. Lead the way, miss. And
then, not to be outdone, I go over and I give Verity a hug and kiss her on both cheeks as well, in a sisterly way.
Well, enjoy your morning.
And she's just beaming. She's just like, oh my God, this is great.
Verity doesn't get fought over, so this is kind of interesting.
So, yeah. So we proceed down the path towards the Pembleton house, and I'm quiet at first. I'm waiting. I'm like, but you can tell that I'm kind of like sizing you up from like the corner of my eye.
Are you a good-looking lady?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
Oh, and so okay, so like I could give you a little description. So yeah, I'm wearing like servant's clothes, but like I'm doing that thing where I found ways to kind of like pretty them up a little bit. So there's like a little bit of like extra on like the aprons, and like a little bit of hair has escaped my bonnet, which is risque, and you can definitely see that like I'm not quite like your like dockside hooker, but I'm definitely not like a good Christian girl like you would expect, like a good Puritan girl. Is it because you've probably known some not so good Puritan girls?
Yeah, I definitely look you. I'm also checking you out, pretty obviously.
And so I turn to you and I say, so what brings you back to Kingsport in such a dire time?
I had heard that things were bad in Salem, but what is it that has been happening here in Kingsport?
I think that there are a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of people not listening to the people they should be hearing.
I am walking closer to you now than I was before. What sorts of misunderstandings?
I think that there are people who would be better left alone, better left to their devices. And I think that there are people who do not wish to let them live their lives.
These are wise words for so young a lady. And I'm like really close to you now. in a way that is clearly like, like someone is interested? And are you reciprocating? Don't have your turn on, just
oh god. So Fortune is really torn right now because like she does like genuinely like really like Verity, but she's still got like all of this other stuff that she hasn't quite processed, and one of her big motivators was to find a good-looking husband, and here's this very good-looking man who is standing inappropriately close at the time, and so who happens to be Verity's brother. And so she's very torn right now, and actually you can kind of see like this like indecision on her face.
okay. Let's say we are at the edge of town and we are not actually in town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because we came from the homestead, so we must be like out in the woods or whatever. And yeah, I'm gonna stop and then stand in front of you so that like I'll walk in front of you to like stand there. I must confess, this town has changed ever since I first left it. Though not all of the changes are bad. And then I take one more step closer and I say, pardon me. And I reach out to like tuck that strand of hair back into your bonnet. And I'm gonna roll. If you don't mind. Wow, I feel so chaste.
Does somebody want to roll some dice here?
Yeah, I'm rolling to turn on, but the dice isn't changing. Oh. Okay, that's a 4 plus 2 is 6. Oh!
Cool. So, it's my go-to move in Monsterhearts, but it's appropriate for the genre. As you lean in, you hear somebody coming up the path behind you. And he comes around, and it's a older guy wearing kind of rustic clothes with a big bag slung over his shoulder like a satchel. He's holding a staff that's very intricately twisted, and looks at the two of you like, "Well, good morrow, fine citizens."
Do I know this person?
Never seen him before in his life.
I take a step back and I actually finish tucking the like strand of hair into my bonnet, and I just I curtsy and I say, "Good morning, sir," and then I step behind Malachi, which is defending myself.
No need to be shy around me, Fortune.
How dost thou know my name?
How wouldst I not? And now you must be young Malachi, returned again from the sea.
That is I. And who art to you?
Oh, me? I am but a poor messenger traveling from place to place, delivering such news as is fit to give to my people.
What news do you bring to Kingsport?
Change. It's the only news that is ever constant, don't you find, Fortune?
I think you might be a little late. Kingsport is already in the midst of change.
There's change and there's change, my fine, lusty young lass. I think that the changes that shall be wrought here are but half finished.
I'm gonna gaze into the abyss to try and understand like who this person is.
How are you doing that? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so all right, so I think that like Fortune's gaze into the abyss is since her powers are kind of like since her powers are illusion and watching, she's actually gonna like gaze into his shadow and try to like divine something within the depths of that.
Je vous invite.
Let's see here. So my dark is +2. And then I got a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Cool. So you were looking for answers as to who this guy is. Well, the answer comes fairly immediately because the shadow is not human in the slightest. Well, I mean, it's humanoid. It's just, humans don't tend to have goat horns and cloven feet.
Okay.
He
And
just
so,
sort of looks at you like, finds out what I was looking for, my young lass?
so because of the fact that that is confusing and alarming to me, I think at that point I'm gonna run away. I'm going to attempt to run away.
These two.
Yeah. So and that's going to be with my volatile, which is a -1. So like, let's see, that's a 4. Yeah. Like, I let out a piercing scream and just like run for the hills. So, and that's a fail, and that's actually I get to take an advancement. Yay!
Okay. Yeah, you come screaming out of the woods, and you run right by John Baxter, who's looking at you, and then looks into the woods, and then looks at you with a look of horror on his face.
Do I keep going? Can I?
Oh yeah, you keep going.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna like. Oh no, it's the guy that I accused of being a witch.
Yes, it is.
Yes, but I know he's a murderer. Well, I mean, I believe he's a murderer. So I'm gonna stop short, and then I'm just gonna like put a hand between the two of us, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna say, "How goes it, killer?"
How goes it, witch?
I say, I heard in meeting last week that you were the witch.
And I heard that thou hast just had a conversation with the Dark Lord, and that I have just beheld.
Is it, how do you know that that was the Dark Lord?
I would think I would know what the deceiver looks like when he appears in such a form as that. I mean, your suspicion is he did not see what you saw.
Okay, great. Oh, perfect. So I stride over to him and I say, that was nothing but an old man. And after all, you saw me there with Malachi Goodwin as well. Is Malachi Goodwin also a witch?
Perhaps. The Goodwin family seems to be made for witching.
Oh gosh, okay. So I actually kind of like, he doesn't necessarily scare me because I don't really know. I don't know what his deal is other than that he killed a girl, but I feel like I can defend myself. So I'm just going to be like, I do not like thou's tone. I think that you should go about your business and let me go about mine.
Art thou shutting him down?
I am, unfortunately, with my -1 cold.
And this will be entertaining, and you will get some XP potentially.
It's a 7. It's a 7. So
okay. So which one are you gonna do?
So on a 7 and 9, choose one from below, but I come across poorly and they give me a condition in return.
Oh yeah.
So he's gonna gain the condition intimidated. Like I'd like him to be intimidated because like I don't know what his deal is, but if he genuinely thinks that I am actually a witch and that I like was just cavorting with the devil, then I hope that puts the fear of God into him a little bit.
It's a fair cop.
So yeah, so I would like to give him the condition intimidated.
Excellent. How do you not have any conditions? Okay, cool. Thinking what I want is something that's indicating that people are going to be looking at you now more. I mean, scrutinized doesn't feel like it's quite got the right teeth. Suspected. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's kind of suspected, but suspected might work here.
Suspicious, yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, let's. Suspicious is good for now, and if we
Actually, you know what? Let's just flat out go for it. Witch. Let's just straight out go for it. Witch. That's your condition.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't mean everybody thinks it. It just means they can use it against you. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Malachi, you got left with this old jolly messenger.
Yeah, okay, so when, I don't know what happened because Verity was behind me. Oh no, sorry, not Verity. A Fortune was behind me, and then they were talking, and I don't quite understand what they're saying, and then she runs away. So
'tis ever true, I find, one can never find good servants.
okay, I stride up to this man, and we're in the woods. I shove him against a tree. Who are you to menace a woman of Kingsport like such?
Such. Ah, my dear, sweet child of the sea.
How do you know me?
Thou art Malachi Goodwin, known to all in these parts. Thy ship is called in port tonight, the other day. What is not to know about thee? Thou grew up in a poor woodcutter's house. Thou hast a sister. Not of thy blood, though.
Who are you? Let's see. What kind of move can I use to? Because I feel
That's the fun thing about Monsterhearts. There's really no move for that.
turn someone on. Just kidding. All right.
Except, you can try. Are you afraid of anything right now?
No, I think I'm upset.
Okay.
Like maybe my ego is still bruised from before. And I'm just like taking it on this guy.
The only thing you could do for direct knowledge is gaze into the abyss. I mean,
No,
also, if you keep your cool, you can ask me a question. But
no, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake this man, aka this double. And I'm gonna lash out physically.
That sounds good. Please roll. I invite you.
Okay, that's an 8. I think what is my? It's a 9. Let's see. Okay. I think it's too early for me to become my darkest self. Oh. Let's see. What is my darkest self? Good.
You want me to learn something about thy true nature and gain a string upon thou?
I feel like that's probably the most logical thing.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I think it's too early. Well, I mean, I am also shaking up the devil, so it could just turn into my darkest self. No, it's okay. I'll let them get a string on me.
All right, so you shove him up against the tree, and he shakes and falls back because he is just a poor old trembling man, and looks at you and just says, "Wilt thou not beg the pardon of a poor old man that thou hast so horribly assaulted? Violence does not become thou, Malachi Goodwin."
I did not think I gave you permission to call me so. What's a good word? So
impertinently.
Yeah. I did not think I gave you permission to speak to me so impertinently, old man.
There'll come a day, young master, when you will wish you had begged my pardon. Good morrow to you. Give my regards to thy sister. Tell her I have not forgotten her book and her signature in it. And with that, he strides off into the forest and quickly vanishes. And I think we're at a good place for our first break. Well, our only break, but it'll be our first one too. So why don't we come back in about 5 minutes or so?
Cool.
All right. What I'm thinking here is that maybe Verity should come to dinner at the Pembleton house, because for one thing, we never get a lot of Mercy and Verity together.
Oh yeah, Mercy and Verity should hang out.
Yeah, totally. You can go and do chick stuff while the men talk.
I got that wolf fishing going.
Yeah.
Surf and turf.
Yeah, it seems great.
That's what they call each other when no one's looking.
You're terrible people, and I love you dearly.
So do I get invited?
I think so. Sure, why not? Either that or Malachi can just bring you. It's like, I'm taking my sister.
Yeah.
Later, Mom and Dad. We're going to the Pebbletons.
They're having lobster. I don't know.
Raw fish.
Yeah.
As they do in the aisles near Cathay.
Mm-hmm. Cool, great. So do we just start at dinner or when we show up, or?
Uh,
I'm waiting for him to yell at me about signing a book.
Yeah, well, that may come. I think I think we'll do this maybe either during dinner or when you just arrive, sometime before the family has talked. The Reverend Wilkins is there too. I'm sure he'll have interesting things to say to everyone.
Great. So I guess we're showing up at the front door, and maybe you're telling me to be on my best behavior.
Me?
Yeah.
Telling you?
I don't know.
No, I wouldn't.
What do we say before we walk into the house?
I think I give you a look that is the we'll talk later look.
I knock on the door.
Oh, we both do.
And then I look at you again.
I think maybe Mercy answers the door.
Yeah. Mercy. Good evening.
Verity, hello. It's so good to see thee.
She
I'm glad that we're able to accompany.
Yeah. She gives you a sisterly kiss on the cheek. I believe you remembered my brother.
Malachi, you have... Welcome back.
Mercy. How do people, what is the etiquette between men and women?
Probably not physical touching.
Okay. I take you by your elbows, Mercy, and I give you one peck on the cheek as well. A brotherly one. Why not?
Yeah. And I think, Mercy says, come in, and kind of steps back and almost trips over her own heels, and she's kind of in klutz mode for a moment.
I glance back at Verity, what? And stride in.
Yes, please come in. Come sit by the fire.
Thank you.
Mother's still
changed.
preparing dinner. Oh, I suppose I have. As of you.
I would think I'm still the same. It's Kingsport that has changed.
Kingsport has certainly changed. Tell me about your adventures.
There's no such thing as adventures on the sea. It is all dull. All men. Boring.
I find that hard to believe, especially knowing you were with my uncle.
Good man.
Verity
Yeah.
has been sort of tuned out to the conversation. She says, "Yes, very apt on the ocean."
And she's obviously, I think she's, kind of getting a little like, kind of close and flirty in front of Verity.
Oh, are you trying to turn me on?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Okay, yeah, because dice roll, nothing goes wrong when we roll the dice.
No,
When Verity says like very apt on the sea, I think Malachi like laughs and then puts a hand on Verity's knee.
great.
Oops, where'd my-
Are you trying to turn me on? Because that's fine.
Okay, I will.
Let's just all roll dice all the time.
Okay, so that's what is my? Oh, I think I'm negative there. Yeah. Oh no, I'm so it's a 7. Oh no, I'm negative. It's a 5.
Oh, good. Oh,
I rolled
good,
an
good.
11, by the way,
You rolled an 11?
to turn you on.
Gosh.
Oh, I guess it's technically 12 because I have +1, but like to, something my lover, but anyway.
Cool. Let's get that out of the way first. So take a string on your sister.
We can call you Verity.
What's your reaction there, Verity?
By the way, I didn't write you in my thing as Verity, my sister. I wrote you as Verity, light of my life. Just FYI.
Aw, that's so cute. Verity, well, let's do something different. Verity leans over and like puts her hand over your hand and whispers in your ear, "We cannot do this in the Pembleton's household later."
Oh. I'm
promising
over
you
my
something
hand.
you want.
Oh, I seize your hand, and pull you closer again. Later. That a promise, sister of mine.
Is
So you're one poison kid away from Lucretia Borgia territory, but that's fine. As for you, poor Mercy,
Yeah.
as you're trying to flirt for the attention of poor Malachi, you look up and see the Reverend Wilkins looking at you with kind of softened eyes, as the Bible would say. And he comes up and says, Miss Mercy, may I speak with you a moment?"
Why? Why? Yes, good Reverend.
You remember the night, not a week hence, that there were such strange visions and terrors in the night?
Why? Yes.
I had heard that thy family was not affected, or not as poorly affected.
Well, we Pembletons are of strong constitution.
Perhaps thou hast more favor with God, for I most fervently did pray to him. And yet these visions troubled me. I wouldst know more of thy family's ways, for it does seem to me that God has abandoned this land, and yet your family prospers. And yet I know that thou hast no wickedness in you.
Perhaps, Reverend, we can take a walk before dinner and further discuss the the existence of wickedness and my family's favor.
I am so down for that. He says in the appropriate 17th century idiom. Cool.
And as she walks by, as she walks by Malachi, she does a little.
I mean, the Reverend Wilkins is very young and eligible. Cool. Yeah, let's cut away. Okay, so Chastity, you and Fortune are to home. And a knock comes on the door.
Okay, so Fortune, as the servant girl, goes over to. Is there like? Do they have like peepholes? Is that a thing, or do I just open the door and like whatever greets me?
You could maybe like look through the crack in the shutters. I don't know if the family is. I guess the family is rich enough to maybe have glassed windows, but.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna take a peek through like a sliver of the glass and like see who's outside before I open the door because it is after dark.
I know, it's a jolly old man with a messenger bag.
Oh god. So real quick, a question. Like I was playing it up like the witches totally made deals with the devil. So like is this the devil that I signed a contract to? Like am I like making that conclusion now or
did you in fact sign a contract with the devil to get your witch's power?
And like that's kind of how I was playing it. Like I was just leaning into the full like actual devilcraft. So yeah, I would say that I've definitely seen the devil before.
Well, I mean, you thought the devil was like a handsome, dark-skinned man. That's who you met, but this guy seems you get the same weird stomach-churning feeling around this guy.
So I creak open the door, but I don't like really like let him in and say, how may I help you, sir?
I have a message for the colonel.
Please, let me show you in. And
thou canst not bar the door to me, Fortune.
And I just open the door and I step aside. But I like as I do this, I like try to like wave Chastity away to the kitchen. I'm just like, go.
Oh no, he looks up and sees Chastity. He's like, good evening, daughter. Come now, let us sit and talk.
I don't think I've had the pleasure of meeting you.
And yet, I've signed my daughter's book.
Oh, Fortune, this is Val's father?
Something like that. And I'm just like, I'm really, really like uncomfortable. So the first time you've actually seen Fortune like be really, really uncomfortable.
Not to crib a note, but whatever thou doest in my name, thou doest for me.
So at this point, actually, like Fortune knows who her real master is, and so she actually has to sit at the feet of the old man, and like so Chastity's just sees Fortune like completely supplicate herself in front of what looks to be like a wrinkly old man.
Well, now this is why I do enjoy going to New England. You keep with the old ways. This is impressive. I cannot help but be touched. I mean, as much as it's possible.
Should I fetch the major, my lord?
Of course not. That was but a pretext, lass.
Then what brings my lord to this house? What brings my lord to Kingsport?
There is mischief to be done, is there not?
There is, but I am trying my best to weather the storm here. I'm trying to make sure that there is more of me left over to cause more trouble in the future.
And thou didst inscribe thy name in my book and ask for power. And didst thou think that all one would have to do is dance naked in the woods thereafter? No, child. Service for service, that is our way, is it not?
I have brought you more servants. Is that not enough to earn my favor?
Yes, you brought me, but you did not bring me she who will be my best servant.
And who should that be?
Oh, thy dear, dear friend Verity. I am sore unimpressed with you on this one matter, Fortune. Why hadst thou not made a filter of love? Thou love it, thou seeks this lass? Or wouldst thou have her give herself to thee?
My designs on Verity are mine own, and I look over at Chastity and I just say, and I am still designing, and I have not decided yet.
Thinkst thou not that thou art but the leash I shall put upon my hound? But as I am a kindly master, what thou doest with the lass is not any concern of mine. For all I care is that chaos shall crawl across this land, and thus my great design be fulfilled, inasmuch as I have a great design, because it's really not my thing. Now, you, child, we have met before, Chastity. Or rather, I have met thy father.
I'm very sure by this point.
I think Chastity, being still confused, just is trying to piece all this together, and she's like, "Well, good sir, I know that Fortune hasn't been seeing Verity, but he's been teaching me. She's been teaching me so many wonderful and interesting things. We've been doing quite good prayers almost every day, and mercy and abstinence has also been helping. I'm sure that just given some time, Verity could also join us."
Verity, I have plans for. But if you want to join in on the fun, I had not expected to see back in such a way. I had thought that your father would try and outwit me and keep you pure and chaste, thus the name. But,
My lord,
well, all the earthly designs do go awry. That is man's fate.
my lord, how dost thou know my sister?
Your sister? Chastity?
Yes, my sister of the night. You have obviously met before, but I was under the impression that I was the one to have brought her into the fold.
One could say that I had a part in her making. She has more right to call me father than thou. For you, it is purely formulaic, but for her, well, there's a hard core of truth out there. In fact, there is a hard core of truth in you. 'Tis the breastbone of thy mother, but let us not get into the petty details, for then we shall be in the woods all night. Actually, we should probably be in the woods all night, but not the time yet.
Then didst thou know my father from the old country?
Oh no, no, no. The old country is far too boring and played out. No, it is here in New England that I hope to build my empire. And an empire I shall have. A force for both profound change and profound conservatism. It's going to be a great 500 years, kids. I so wish you could hang around for it, but that's not your thing. That's going to be Mercy's shtick, I think. Now, as I am kindly and wise, I shall give thee guidance. Art thou not happy for my guidance?
Yes, my lord.
Oh, good, 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 good. Thou hast the right idea to defend thyself through accusation. Thou hast the right idea. The idea. The practice I find to be lacking. Findst thou one and concentrate thy fire upon her. hoist her upon a petard, and let all see her to be the witch. And I shall put my words in thy mouth, and I shall give thee that such power as is necessary to make this a seeming reality, or reality a seeming. It's all more or less the same to me, but I understand you people get confused, so.
Dost thou have a preference who we shall waste this burden upon, my lord?
Randomness and chance does always speak well to me, though I do admit the idea of it being Jan Mercy Pembleton I find to be most amusing.
Mercy.
It's a long time since.
Mercy's our sister.
You have lots of sisters, kid. Lots of sisters in this world. New England is rotten with witches. Or so everyone would say. The thing about a witch is you can never tell whether or not they're really a witch. It's like opening up the box and the cat is alive or dead. You don't know until you open the box. Oh.
That is a disturbing vision, my lord.
It'll be funny eventually. Now,
should we have killed a cat instead of a goat, sir?
I honestly don't care. Do you like killing cats or do you like killing goats?
Oh, I'm not sure as long as the ritual is preserved.
I mean, if you want to kill a dude, I'm okay with that too.
Speaking of dudes, what can you tell us about Malachi Goodwin? You seemed to know him.
Yeah, I know everybody. Oh, he is but a poor mortal man, caught upon Adam's curse, though perhaps he shall find a way to be born.
Verity walks in.
How are you walking in all the way from the Pebbletons?
Isn't this at the same house?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was at the same house. Carry on. He's protected.
So, does the devil have more things to tell us?
Find a subject. Maybe Grace Baxter, maybe Mercy. I don't want to put ideas in your head. Look, the whole point of this thing is for you to be creative, right? I mean, that's why I like you monkeys. Every time I think I could come up with some kind of torture, you guys beat me to the punch, and then you punch the guy. It's amazing. It's astonishing. It just never stops. So do that. I shall give thee power and words, and I don't know. Fancy stuff. Do you need a magic item or something? Wand? Broom? What about you, kid? Can I put you in a broom, Chastity?
Well, I've never swept before, but I'm sure Fortune could tell me that as well.
Right.
I just pat your head and I just say, my Dark Lord, if there is one thing you could bestow on me, I ask merely for a token from... Oh, I've already got like 2 things from Mercy. Like a token of... I ask for a token of Malachi Goodwin's so that I may work my craft on that too, should I see fit.
Looks thou under thy chair.
I get up from the floor and go over to the seat and I look under the chair.
What token do you want to have of Malachi's?
Okay, so he would just spend all that time on no, it's a cameo that has Verity's picture in it.
Oh my god. Yes, that's so horribly awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that he kept at sea?
Yes. And he's going to notice that it's missing pretty soon.
Oh, and Fortune. Wouldst it be pleasing to thou that I shall inflict great pain and misery upon John Baxter?
My lord, I would like to handle John Baxter if you would give me the ability to do some serious damage.
Again, this is why I love monkeys so much. Good. Well then, get thou hence. Smite him in my name.
I just need to level up 2 more times.
Okay. So meanwhile,
So-
somewhere. Yeah.
Sorry, just real quick. Like this, I want to use since I know that house party is happening and that Malachi is there with Mercy, and since the devil just told me to put my sights on Mercy, I would like to use watching and use the Pisces pendant that Mercy gave me after we had our sex orgy in the forest.
Oh my God! Please roll because I want to see what happens now.
Okay. That is a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with my dark. So it is perfect watching.
Okay, so you'll get to see whatever's happening next. Cool. At least some of it. Alrighty then. So, Mercy, can you give me a short rundown of what you told the Reverend Wilkins?
So I think Mercy took the Reverend Wilkins for a walk along the shore to the caves under the head. Can we assume that this is pillow talk, or do you want me to roll for it first?
I hadn't realized it was going to go that way, but yeah.
Yes,
I think you can just pull off your sex move, sure.
Okay. Yes. So he's now she, as far as she knows, she believes she's kind of following the family's direction here, then afterwards she takes him down to the beach, and I think she went, rather than tell him, she's going to show him who she is by leading him into the water to go for a swim, and she's gonna reveal herself to him.
What is your sex move? Oh, wait, okay, never mind.
He becomes part of if my family finds out, he becomes part of the failing dynasty.
All right. So when he sees you, he like runs out of the water. Like, what manner of monster is that? Oh, Heavenly Father, I have sinned.
And she comes back to she comes back into her own, and she says, there's so much that you don't know, Reverend Wilkins. There's so much you don't know about the past and my family. But I can bring you in and make you part and make you part of this, and no evil will fall upon you.
Are all thy family monstrous?
We prefer softer language, Reverend. Are we the monsters, or are the monsters, those who would do evil?
Why should I ever wish to have such a hame put upon me and be like that?
Protection.
But to live my natural life in such an unnatural way, and then die after such a brief time in a monstrous fashion, alone and abandoned by all.
What if it didn't have to be that way?
What?
You won't have to live a short life or die alone.
You mean you live longer than mortal man?
We live considerably longer than the mortal man.
Is this the true life eternal?
What else could it be, my good Reverend?
I think I must have long words with thy father and uncle. Cool. So speaking of thy father and thine uncle, back at Shea Pembleton, which still has Verity and Malachi. So Moab Pembleton comes out, and he looks at Malachi as like, Malachi,
Sir.
thou
Reach
hast
over
been
and
a
do like
good mate to me. Brave sailor and skilled,
It
and
has
true
been
and
my
loyal.
honor. It is mine honor, sir.
There will be business talked tonight that shall be only for those of my family. But if thou were willing to swear an oath, then I think thou could be among us for it.
And my sister.
Is your sister is not maritime in any fashion?
Oh, but I swim so well.
Dost thou?
At least as well as thee.
Yes, of course I would.
There's a strangeness upon you, girl.
There's a strangeness upon you, good sir.
This I know. What is thine?
First, answer my question. Do you wish to put thy strangeness upon my brother?
That is entirely of his own decision. But the first step is to swear the first oath.
Malachi, I don't think you should swear.
Art thou offering a string to thy brother?
Yeah.
Are you? Oh.
Yeah. I don't think you should swear yourself to the Pembletons.
Is there a thing for offering strings where you're supposed to like describe what that could possibly like look like?
Yeah,
or...
what does that look like? How are you impinging upon Malachi and your relationship?
I think I want his loyalty to be to me and our family.
Oh, you're giving him the big brown puppy dog eyes.
Big brown puppy dog eyes. Yep. So maybe I pull you off to the side and I say, I do not think it is wise to join yourself with the Pembletons.
Verity, he is my captain. My life was in his
Killed
hands.
Aethra.
What?
His son killed my friend while you were away. They are not a good family. There is a smell about them that is like... It is not a good thing.
Smell. Oh.
Yes. Any protection that they can offer you, I can mostly offer you.
I do not need protection.
Yes, you do.
Very well.
She like, because we're still in company, she reaches out as if to touch you and then stops and says,
Okay. I go up to Captain Moab and what do I say? I thank you, sir, for this trust that thou hast placed in me. But I am afraid I am not worthy of it. At least, not tonight.
Thou art still a salt man in my eyes, Malachi, and there's no higher praise for my family. Go thou in peace, but thou cannot stay any longer. I think at this point, Mercy and the Reverend come in.
Thank you for the walk, good Reverend, and I will allow thee to step away and speak with my father.
Reverend.
Yeah, the Reverend's kind of looking a little shell-shocked. He's like, yes, talk, yes.
I'm standing next to Malachi and I say, speaking of smells.
I guess I go up to, if no one is going to introduce me, I go up to, to the Reverend. Hello, Reverend. I'm Malachi Goodwin.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm only gradually becoming acquainted with my flock and who and what they are. Your sister is a goodly lass.
Yes, she is. I'm gonna clap him on the shoulder and turn to you, Verity, and then just like let's go.
Lovely evening.
Okay.
Uncle Moab, did you get what you needed from Malachi?
I did not, but it seems to me that thou hunted much better than I. Good. Can we trust this Reverend? He's a man of the wrong book.
No longer. We can trust him.
That. Good. We shall swear him. For blood is strong, but blood is merely salt water. This is the news I have for you, dear niece. I have voyaged far and wide upon the waves. I have spoken to the elders. They are of a mind to take off their bad countenance on us and allow us to return to the water again.
Are Verity and Malachi still there?
No, they're gone.
They left. Okay. It is. That is wonderful news.
They have in mind a grand project, something that has not been attempted before.
Do tell.
They shall make a nesting place here upon the land.
And what will become of the mortals?
The goal shall be that this will be a place walled away from the rest of the mortal world where we may develop ourselves, find the way to harmonize the land and the sea. Know thou of the marshes around the river Inn?
Yes.
There, near the mouth of the river, they plan to build a town. This will be a project of many generations, but we must be strong in the development of it now. The foundations we lay today shall bear fruit further along, and if we are allowed to return to the water, we shall be a part of it and see it all. That means we must survive. One of our families must come out of this. I would said it be Pembleton, not Baxter. Because the devil take the Baxters, in my opinion.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
They have done nothing but try to lord it over us ever since the countenance of weakness fell upon us.
Yes, and then if I'm not to be married to John Baxter, is there not a way we can bring Malachi back?
Perhaps thou could marry him, or this Reverend. Take whatever mortal thou wishes. When we return to the water, you shall have far better lovers in the waves.
Yes, but until then, I must know how. I may need the family's help, but I must make. We must spare Malachi.
I am of a mind to spare Malachi. That boy has salt blood. He would be a good addition to the family. Good. I think that our next move shall be to isolate the Baxters, but this is dangerous. For obviously they can accuse us most easily.
But I have struck first. Well, their accusations against Pembleton will appear retaliatory and not authentic.
That is good, but we need more assurance than that. That girl, that Goodwin girl, she's not his sister. The smell of it's all upon her.
Oh, there is something different about her.
'Tis a strangeness that perhaps we could use to our advantage.
In what way?
I know not. Find out more on this.
I shall.
Perhaps she can be of assistance in our project too. Well, use the Baxters as chum, to use the quaint metaphor of our people.
Yes.
'Tis a sad thing that we must fight so on the land, but it's for the betterment of those in the water. Only the strong will survive.
Only the strong.
Good.
To a wet future.
Good. So, hey, Fortune, what you up to?
I am just like sitting in my like cubby, like staring off into the darkness, like absolutely shocked at all of this. I thought the devil was like, serious business, but apparently there's an entire underwater like species of people that, this girl that I've slept with her, and like she's like some sort of fish thing. And also she banged the Reverend, which I was really proud of. I was like, you go good, Coco. But like I was just kind of like, wow, okay. So yeah, but I definitely support the idea of taking down the Baxters because I was kind of told to do that. Well, I was told to take somebody down, and I want to take John Baxter down because he's terrible. And but at the same time, I'm just really afraid that like as I've made a deal with the devil, and I still feel like I'm in over my head.
If only you had that move. So I'm not going to ask you what your plan is. I'm not going to ask you if you have a plan, because you obviously have a plan. But what is your plan? And how can you start the ball rolling on this tonight? Because it sure seemed like the messenger wanted you to get on this. Chop, chop.
Yeah, so I'm actually probably gonna, I have a ton of sympathetic tokens that are just laying around. So I think what I'm gonna start to do is I would really like to wander around town and just start hexing visions on illusions on people. And I would really like to have everyone be haunted by the specter of John Baxter. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Thou'rt the wicked girl.
Thank you.
Cast thou thy spell upon the water, and we shall see where it lands.
Okay. Okay, so that's a 9, 10, 11. So
Cool. So it's easily reversible. Do you have a target in particular for this?
So I think honestly, probably the most. Let's see here. Looking at my strings. Oh no. I think actually probably the most effective person for this is going to be Chastity, unfortunately, because she's the one with the greatest clout in the community, being like the major's daughter. And no, my baby. So I think that I will send one of the gnarly visions to her. Yeah. And then should I just like I have a couple more people. I was gonna try to send one after I was gonna try to send one after Grace Baxter, because I mean she may be a liar, but if she's gonna lie about anything, it might as well be what I want it to be.
Maybe you could manipulate the vision so for her it's more like he's telling her that now she's the devil's child and she must obey and sign his book or something.
Ooh, that's even better. It's like no one will believe you anyway. It's like building it up. It's like you might as well join us because you're tainted and corrupted now, and everyone thinks you're a terrible person. I love it. Okay, so her hair ribbon goes into my fire, and that is a oh shit no that's a oops sorry that's a 4, 5, 6. Yep, that was a fail. That was a hard fail. So, I don't even get to make a choice there. Yeah,
No, you
that's
did.
all. Yeah.
Most Monsterhearts moves put it on me.
Mhm.
Okay, this is what happens. You find yourself in a spectral form standing in Grace Baxter's bedroom,
Okay.
holding a book. Like, damn it.
So I'm the one. Okay.
Yeah, she's sitting bolt upright, like, oh my God, heavens preserve me! There are witches.
So I come around to the bed actually, and since I'm here and I can control this vision however I want, actually, my clothes fly off and I approach her in shrouded in night, and I push her down into the bed and I tell her, I tell her, oh, poor innocent girl. You thought that you could lie about us and come away unscathed? That's not how this world works. I'll give you a choice. If you sign in my little black book here, and you come join me as a sister of the night, perhaps I'll let you live. And then I run a finger down the front of her blouse. So I'm trying to make it sexy as well as corrupt her to the devil. So should I roll to turn her on?
If that is thy intent, yes.
It is, yes. Okay, that one was 11, 12, 13, so.
Okay, wow, so I've changed this. Everyone else is playing the Crucible. You're playing the Witches of Eastwick. Yeah, she'll totally make out with you. Actually, no, she'll give you the promise. She'll give you the promise. Of course, she'll give you the promise. Of course, I'll sign your book. I'll sign your book. I'll sign your book.
Okay, good. Does that actually count as a signature? Is she? Yeah. Okay. Cool. She is a part of my coven now.
Oh my God.
I didn't get a string against her. Yay.
So Chastity, what do you do when the vision of John Baxter appears, trying to attack you?
Well, does this probably not, but just in case, does this count as a main character harming me? That's probably harm, right?
I know what you're
Seems
talking
like
about.
that. Because it's harm or heal. So yeah, probably mechanical harm.
Yeah, I think you gotta actually take harm. I mean, that could be arranged. So, I mean, I don't know what exactly Fortune sent against you. I mean, is he gonna try and physically harm her? I mean, I would say that maybe Fortune would not stoop to such things, but that would be a foolish thing to say.
I don't want to harm Chastity. I have great affection for her. I mean, we've been practicing rituals daily, apparently. So I want her to realize that John Baxter is an enemy that must be dealt with. And so I think that John Baxter probably menaces her, but in a way that doesn't cause physical or psychic harm. It's probably just emotionally traumatizing.
Okay. So you have a horribly emotionally traumatizing experience.
That makes sense to me.
What do you do after that?
So I guess it's just like a spectral vision of John Baxter, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
just evil incarnate in front of, or I guess in Chastity's bedroom or something, or a nightmare kind of.
Ooh, can I add one more thing? Actually?
Yeah, please.
Oh, so this vision of John Baxter is torturing Fortune and Mercy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think she, um, I think she would run to her father.
Good.
Good major.
All right. It's like, child, what is it? It is the witching hour of the night.
I feel she is just um, I think like just inconsolable, just so terrified of this. She's just kind of babbling about John Baxter. I guess the idea is that John Baxter was there, but she's just almost wailing. Um, hmm. Like I think what I'm trying to do is embody this frightened condition, but I think I'm trying to get. I don't know if there's something to. The only way to convince someone is to turn them on, huh? Mm,
Do you have a string?
I don't think so. Yeah, no, not on him.
You don't have a string on your own poor father. Oh well.
He means nothing to me.
I mean, very fair.
Actually, I guess keeping cool maybe because I'm specifically afraid of something. Is that
Yeah, I like that.
makes sense?
And then you'll get to ask me a question if you get a 10. So
Yeah, there we go. And that is cold.
the odds of you getting a 10 are not high.
No. Oh, I somehow did that.
Well,
I got a boxcar on that somehow.
that's awesome. So you hold, and you get to ask me a question, and you'll take +1 forward on it.
Hmm. Oh, I think, yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna say, I think what I'm asking out of character is to my father, like, what am I, or what did you do? I guess, but she's like, I think in character, she's just like, your friend from the old country came, and he spoke in riddles and talked about monkeys, and now this. I think I've been targeted somehow.
Wait. Thou hast spoken to the messenger.
Yes, the old man. And now I've been singled out by these warlocks, apparently.
Didst thou promise anything to the spectre that you saw?
Of John Baxter? No.
Thou promised something to the messenger?
It was Fortune's father. He said that there was much learning for me to do.
Ah. Many things now become clear to me. 'Tis not straight chance that brought fortune under our house, I see. Best if we fled. Best if we fled. But I fear that will not be our fate.
And surely Fortune would come with us then.
I had hoped to spare you of this, but you will have to testify, of course. And I shall go get the bailiff, and we shall pay a call upon the house of Baxter tonight. You will have to testify, child. That may not go well for thee. And we shall send for a justice, one experienced in such cases.
Surely I'll do whatever needs to happen.
I know you will, child. You're a good daughter. You look so like thy mother. Not guilting you or anything. Great. So it's another fun night of chaos here in Kingsport. Speaking of fun nights of chaos, so Malachi and Verity are walking home at night.
What's up?
What you talking about?
Yeah, I
What-
think like oh,
Go ahead. Go.
I think like halfway through, when we're walking in the woods, I stop and then I just like pause for a moment, and then I turn around. What is this about a book?
When Aphra was in trouble, I found her in the graveyard with a man who seemed to know me and who told me what I already knew, which was that Aphra was cursing the town and everything was going
What?
to go to. Aphra was killed and angry, and she wanted revenge, and she asked this man to help her. But if she does, well, she did. When she brought the chaos down upon all of us, I couldn't let them hurt our family. I couldn't let them hurt you. I signed the book because I was promised protection.
Verity.
And he also said that he could tell me who my parents were.
Verity. Look at me. What did you sign away?
It doesn't matter.
No,
It keeps you safe.
it does.
Matter.
No, it does matter. Can't say that. Thou canst not say that.
What's the worst that he can do to me? If anything happened to you, I'd die anyway.
It's not supposed to be like this.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be.
Maybe it won't come to anything.
I met him today, actually.
Oh. He is not a cheerful fellow. Are you
It's
all
quite
right?
jolly. Unpleasant. And it seems like your friend, the Fortune girl, is quite familiar with him as well.
I have a feeling that she's signed in his book too.
Well, it won't happen. I won't let anything happen to you.
And we'll protect each other.
Like we always did.
We always have.
And I'm going to pull you into a hug. And we're going to hug you a little too hard. And then you can tell that I'm shaking and that I'm crying.
Verity pulls back from your embrace, holds your face between her hands, and kisses you.
I invite you to roll the dice.
I roll. What's my hot? It's +1. I roll an 8. Gosh, I'm lucky.
Well, I mean, sorry, not sorry. I give myself to you. And you know what my sex move is, right?
No, what's your sex move?
When you have sex with someone, it awakens something sinister within. The next time you take your eyes off them, they become their darkest self.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Okay.
Well, I have a bit for that.
Yeah. My sex move is that I establish a deep spiritual connection with you, and until either of us breaks it, I have a +1 to any roll made to defend you.
Cool. So, in the afterglow, you hear a stick snap, and there's your friend, the jolly old messenger, looking down at you two. Like, oh, young love, it's always so entertaining to see. Child of the forest, wouldst thou know something about thy ancestry? 'Tis one of the promises I made thee.
She,
As you are now, as you were when you were
Yeah.
found.
she stands up and like puts herself between him and Malachi. Then speak.
Knowst thou thy history? Hast thou heard of Sir John Raleigh?
I have.
Good. Then I have but one word to say to thee, child of the dares. Croatoan. That's when your darkest self hits.
Son of a bitch.
And he turns to you, Malachi, and said, now, my young lad, now is the time for thou to beg for my pardon. For my hound is only leashed so long as I wish her to be.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I think that she, her darkest self is a little bigger and more feral, and she's like writhing in pain and trying to hold it back.
I said thou would regret thy words. Now what shalt thou give me in change for thy life, or thy sister's life is protected, or she has given herself to me, and you? But I mean, I'm the one with the power here, kid.
I think in Malachi's moment of grief and terror, he doesn't quite register. Like, there's like a flicker of like puzzlement at the word kid. Like, what? But it doesn't quite register. What do you want? Why did you do this to her?
Oh, I didn't do this to her. She did this to herself. Or this is who she is. It's not her fault that, her ancestors, to survive a winter in a hostile land, did make promises to dread gods that they knew very little the wreck of. And yet here she is, child of the New World, multiple lineages, including that of the forest and the wolf. What a glorious chimera we shall make upon this new world of yours. But in my case, I think the best thing to do would be for me to give thee some of the taint of sin that thou does not feel yet, For here thou hast lain with thine sister, and yet thy soul rejoices. Tis ever so with you humans. So, givest me a name, and I shall feed them to my hound.
No.
Ah, well then. Well then, child, thy praise before thee. Let the let the hunt go afoot. Go thou, my truthful Verity, and do great damage in my name. And with that, he vanishes this time. He doesn't even bother with appearances.
Oh, and then I lunge for Verity.
I am pretty sure Verity is lunging for you, except her parts are sharp and pointy.
Yeah, that's not great. I mean, if I hurt you, though, I immediately become myself again.
True?
Yep.
So what? You try and grab me?
Yeah.
I guess. Should I roll lash out physically for this, or how does this work?
I feel like
I mean,
before
if
that,
you
I should
just-
probably roll to keep my cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, do it.
I think I have very little chill right now.
Very little.
Oh, an 11, and with my so that's a 10. Oh,
Cool. Get to ask me a question.
oh, about the situation. Actually, my question is like, is there a way for me to take away the contract between Verity and this abominable man?
You would need the help of some of the other great old powers of the earth.
Ah. Well, I'll take one forward to acting on that.
If only you knew some people that were in the recruitment business currently.
Hmm.
So I guess
Okay,
I
cool.
roll lash out physically.
I think that would be the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh God, where'd my dice go? I roll 6, 7, 8, and it's roll with volatile, and my volatile is +2, right? Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, so I roll a 10. 10 plus I deal them harm, and they choke up momentarily before they can react.
Yeah. So no harm in return. Cool. That is awesome. You're gonna do 2 harm because you are a fierce mother effing werewolf.
Yep.
And then you're going to do another harm because I'm spending one of the strings that the messenger has on you. So that's 3 harm to you there, Malachi.
Gosh.
Yeah. However, yeah, you've done harm to someone you love, so I guess you're out of darkest self.
Great. One of the things that can happen from lash out physically if I become my darkest self again, we're not going to do that.
On a 10, you're fine. You don't have to choose.
Oh, on 10, I'm fine. I don't have to choose one. Oh, great. Cool.
But yeah, you messed up Malachi. He's in bad shape.
Yeah. Well, I immediately turn back human. And grab a hold of Malachi. And I'm just screaming and wailing and telling him how sorry I am and begging for his forgiveness.
I don't think. I mean, a 3 out of 4 harm. I don't think I'm able to respond.
So I think I transform back into a wolf because I'm stronger that way, and I drag him back to town and leave him outside wherever the doctor is.
Doctor?
I'm guessing it's somebody. Maybe my mom. She's a fucking midwife. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, your mom would make sense. I like that idea. Good news, everyone. I mean, Malachi, I think you earned 2 experience points on that because that was definitely going down the rabbit hole. And I'm assuming you're going to just ignore this problem about your lover being an actual werewolf.
Yeah, no biggie. Whatever. Just the light of my life.
It's cool. I love her. She's nice.
So I'm just gonna take another double string on you, and that'll be fine.
3 strings. Okay. Love it.
Fine, fine.
Yeah, that will never come back to hurt you. Actually,
not like it hasn't already.
Yeah, actually, I could have spent that extra string and just forced you to figure out what to do it for harm, but it's early. Well, it's not. It's late, but we still have next week to cause Maxim Shrekly Kite. Cool. Yeah. So your mom is gonna stitch you more or less together and just be like, "What on earth happened here?"
I drag him back to my mother, and then I go looking for that man. So I'm gone.
Okay. That's good.
That's terrible.
I'm real mad.
That's good. Fortune, you said you were wandering around town?
Yeah, I was, out and about hexing everybody. So,
This is awesome. Actually, I like this. We can get an almost ensemble scene here. So you're out walking, and you suddenly see the major Colonel Whitburn and Chastity walking with great determination, and a couple of bailiffs with rifles over their shoulder, straight for the Baxter house. Mercy, I think you should be there too. I'm just not sure how you get there. Maybe you're just looking out the window, or
That works.
yeah. All right, so you come out and see this happening. So, Verity, how are you coming? Are you going around in wolf form now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Best person to find that son of a bitch.
Yeah, you definitely are smelling. You get the scent very easily, and it leads you straight into town.
Great.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Don't worry
No.
about it. It's fine. Nothing bad is going to happen here. Cool.
Yep.
All right, so Chastity, you're with your father, and he comes walking up to the Baxter house and starts banging on the door and saying, open up in the name of the king and queen.
Yeah, Chastity's just dutifully by her father's side. Just, still frightened and confused.
All right, I think it's best that John Baxter be the one that opened the door. Looks out at this little mob that is assembling, and I think right about this point, Verity, you're creeping up in the shadows, probably sniffing. So yeah, the fact that there's an enormous red wolf may shortly be important. So your father just looks at you, Chastity, and say, "Tell Baxter what you said to me."
I think because she's frightened, she just kind of falls down, and I guess like Grace Baxter was doing, but less acting. She's just like screaming, and it's like, it was him. He appeared in my room, just like Alfred did before.
Baxter's like looking at you guys and like, what? No, what? The girl is mad. Everybody knows she's touched in the head, and then he sees you, Mercy.
I told you he's a witch.
He cursed me with visions of being tortured.
Oh, Mercy. You are wading out into this.
Wading out into what, John Baxter?
You think that you stand upon firm sand, but I tell you the waves will wash you away too, Mercy Pembleton.
Oh no, John Baxter. Oh no, for it is I.
Your family has fallen from its great lineage. But I say too much.
Verity, at this moment, transforms, still covered in blood, and comes running up and says, "They speak the truth. He is a monster."
I told you he's a witch.
I invite you to roll to shut someone down.
Yeah, naked, fully naked.
Shirt?
Yeah. How many shirts?
Of course John Baxter's not wearing a shirt. You got him up in the middle of the night.
It's true. So shut someone down is roll with cold. What's my cold? It's a -1. That sucks. All right.
You do have strings.
I do. Shit, I rolled an 11.
Okay. Well, you're not
I
going to
really
get...
want experience, you guys. I need to fail a roll.
There are ways to get experience. Don't you have an experience move?
I don't. I
Oh,
didn't.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Cool. So choose one of those things because you're not going to get a condition back.
I think he gains a condition, brutal, because they think he did this to me.
Right. He's an intimidated, brutal guy.
So she falls to her knees in front of, what are the adult men that are there?
It's the Colonel Whitburn and a couple of the bailiffs.
Okay, so in front of Colonel Whitburn and is like, "He's a monster. He's attacked me. He attacks everyone. He killed my best friend."
Fortune.
So at this point, I haven't quite joined the mob yet, but I look up at the second story and I see Grace Baxter looking out the window, and I catch her eye and I just I wave her down and there's an unspoken look of fall in line.
So yeah, Grace comes down and goes, "I was afeard to say it before, but 'tis my own brother who witched me. It was he who sent the things. It was not some old crone."
And then that's when I swoop in and I said, "I told you all. I told you from the beginning he was a witch. He has hexed us all. He has brought calamity upon Kingsport, and calamity shall remain so long as he draws breath."
John Baxter, in the name of the province of Massachusetts and their majesties William and Mary, by grace of God, King of England, Scotland, and France, you are to consider thyself arrested, and you shall be brought forthwith to the jailhouse, there to stand trial for witchcraft.
From my position on the ground in front of the bailiffs, I glance back at him with this look that says, "Gotcha."
He looks down at you and says, "'Tis not over yet. The tide comes in, too."
I also take off my apron and I put it over Verity's shoulders and squeeze her shoulders.
Do I even have to ask?
Okay. It's a 13. So.
Jeez. Okay.
I don't know that you just slept with your brother.
What's that? Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Right. Gosh, what can I promise you?
A signature.
What's that?
To sign his book or to sign her book.
No, I'm not signing anybody's book.
I want you to sign my book.
I'm not signing anything ever again.
It means so much to me.
Just a paw print will do.
No, Verity holds onto your
hand.
It's
not a slam book.
Right? She holds onto your hand and sort of leans into your arm for comfort, and then sort of realizes that she's in this position where she's naked on the ground surrounded by all these men and being so intimate with you, and gets very embarrassed and flustered and sort of leans away from you and says, "Thank you, sister."
Okay, cool. I think we should have an epilogue scene maybe with Malachi. Is there anybody you want to have a scene with real quick?
I Not particularly, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm okay with being out.
All right. Well, that was chaotic.
So much, you guys.
Good job, team. So I guess that's a good place to stop. And I guess next week we're gonna have ourselves a good old witch trial, possible Deep One invasion, and maybe the messenger will also be in there pitching his innings too.
I tried to kill you, bro.
I'm gonna just jump in here, and here is a debrief link, and I will be there shortly.
Great.
And otherwise, thank you guys so much. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Agatha, for hopping right in and stirring the shit very well. And I will see everybody next week for the finale.